Good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us for this short press conference that is both with the European Commission and the European Space Agency. I'm here joined by the EU Commissioner for Defence and Space, Andrius Kubilius, and the European Space Agency Director General, Josef Aschbacher. After some short opening statements, we'll open the floor to journalists. Thank you very much, and we'll start with you, Commissioner. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, dear Joseph, really, and dear colleagues. It's a very big event for me here, to be here. It's the first time. No, this is quite an experience to see, first of all, how strong we as Europeans are in technology. And that is what we can be proud and assured that we can stay in the leadership, both in space and in defense technologies, looking also into the longer-term future, when I'm repeating that, in my view, in space we shall face a real revolution very soon. So we need to be ready for that, and when I'm looking around, I see that really we are on a good path, since we have very important partner in development of all our new projects is European Space Agency, which, besides doing everything very impressive, is also celebrating its 50 years anniversary. So I would like to use this opportunity to congratulate Joseph and all the ESA collective, which is really, it's the biggest treasure what we have. People who are very strong, both in technological understanding what is needed to be done, and also with their devotion to this new frontier in space. Now, in space also, we shall have, looking into the nearest future, several very important developments. Next week, I hope that Commission we shall approve and adopt European Space Act, some kind of new, very important instrument, legal instrument for us to have clear rules of the road in space, and also some very important requirements on sustainability of our space assets and also security of our space assets. And also we shall have communication on space economy, which again is showing that we see space developments not only as very important for our defense and security, not only important for scientific research and exploration, but also very important for our economical development. So that is where we are at this moment, and I'm very happy participating today in this very important event and being together with ESA, with Joseph. I am very proud that we, as Europeans, we have such strong presence in space.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, and over to you, Director General.
So thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Andrius, for joining us here in our temporary home for this week. A lot of ESA people are here displaying all the beauties and all the achievements from a technology point of view, and we're very honored and very grateful for your presence, and I really would like to thank you. Thank you also for the really very strong, supportive statement you gave to ESA Council last week to the member states, which was very much appreciated by all the member states, and certainly was widely quoted also on different places, and really something that testifies the good and strong cooperation we have. And this is really going back to decades of strong cooperation with the European Commission and the European Union and the EU institutions. We are working together since several decades now, especially, of course, since the creation of Copernicus, Galileo in the 90s. I personally was also heavily involved in doing that. I was working for some years in the European Commission myself as a staff member. And then when I was in ESA, my first call was to Brussels to make sure that we are going hand in hand when we build up major programs. And Copernicus, Galileo, and IRIS² now are our flagship programs. Commissioner, last week, as you know, our member states have approved a new program called the European Resilience from Space, which is the preparation or the equivalent to the EOGS, Earth Observation Government Services on your side. It will be a stepwise implementation that we build it up step by step, but also funding from ESA and coupled with obviously future evolutions on the possibly MFF. Of course, decisions have yet to be made. But on our side, we'd like to make sure that we are preparing our ministerial conference, and this is something that my member states asked me to do, very closely with you to make sure that our activities are well aligned and therefore taxpayers' money are very well utilized. So this really shows that we work well together. I think this is very obvious, and we have seen it also on many other occasions. But also let me just remind everyone that we are in space worldwide, not only in Europe, but worldwide in a very challenging but also in a very important phase because we have a new geopolitical situation that is developing. Of course, we all need to make sure that we adjust in the best possible way. But my member states certainly said, while we, of course, confirm and commit to what we promised to develop, we also should build up European autonomy, strength, as we see it also in other domains. You are in charge of defense and space, also in the defense domain, and certainly that's something where also space is an element that needs to be reinforced, and Europe needs to step up. For us, the milestone is the ministerial at the end of the year, a very important one, and certainly something where, of course, we are in the middle of preparations of the programs, but I assure everyone that this is done very well coordinated with the European Commission to make sure that we have a strong Europe in the future that is delivering services to its citizens, both from a commercial perspective, but also for security, resilience as we are building it up. So thank you from my side.
Thank you both very much. We'll open the floor to questions, and I'd like to make sure that you can state your name and your outlet, please, in case we are not known to the speakers. Please go ahead.
Antoine Meunier, La Chronique Spatiale. My question, Mr. Kubilius, you've been chatting with Slavoj a few minutes ago. As Director General is speaking about autonomy, don't you think that maybe Europe should accelerate on the human access to space, and especially for LEO orbit?
Well, definitely it was very nice and symbolic conversation with our astronaut, not just Polish astronaut, our astronaut, and definitely looking into the future, we understand that we shall need to build our capacities, autonomous capacities of transportation and launching, and also for operations in space. And that is what we are doing together with ESA, building new programs, new agenda, new visions. And as Joseph just said, ministerial meeting is very important. For us, it's very important beginning of the negotiations on next MFF, which starts in middle of July. So we want to put very clear projects which with new MFF we can build or to start to build. And of course, some of them are very important, first of all, for our security and defense, like Earth Observation Governmental Service, like Galileo Public Regulated Services, also, of course, IRIS², but also we need to look into a much longer term perspective when, in my view, we shall face what I call big revolution in space, with exploration, with lunar exploration, with operations in space, and that is why, really, we need to have much stronger capabilities, independent capabilities for us for launching and transportation. So this is also in our agenda, in our program. We need to understand that launching and transportation is not just, needed for, how to say, for, I don't know, for fun, but this is what will be most important instruments for us to be very successful in future developments in space.
Sorry, you mean, you say long term, does it mean 2035, 2040?
No, long term it means not tomorrow, but looking with next MFF, which means starting from 28. I hope that we shall have some special programs supported by budget, supported by member states. ESA is doing a lot now on new projects in launching, how we can get back our competitive advantages in that area. We understand that we lost at some time, global competition to SpaceX, but we are coming back.
Thank you very much. And next question from Peter de Selding.
Hi, Peter de Selding, Space Intel Report. Hi there. Commissioner Kubilius,
Not me.
might have been me, I don't know. Two questions for you, Commissioner. One on EOGS, one on IRIS². On EOGS, those of us who read your speech last week to ESA understand why you want to move quickly on this, just like you want to move quickly on everything else. Your logic is clear. For ESA, which is preparing a €1 billion EOGS proposal to their governments this November, that looks like a big stretch. I'm not sure that all ESA governments, particularly the big ones, are ready to commit those kinds of funds for a program that is really so new. They want to go to a phase 0 and phase A. You said last week that you're going to be preparing a high-level documents requirement that will be given to your member states and then will be passed on to ESA sometime this autumn, if I understood. That might make it easier for ESA governments to accept it, because that will presumably include a future promise of investment by the Commission. On IRIS², you know that one of the subjects of conversation in European space over the last year or so has been a possible merger of Thales, Airbus, and Leonardo space divisions. Thales and Airbus are big deals in IRIS². You might think there are advantages and possible disadvantages to a merger for IRIS². What do you think?
Well, thanks a lot for really very, very important questions. In some cases, some kind of, I would say very specific, where I would, maybe not feeling myself so good and strong. But I understand one thing: if we are developing European Earth observation governmental service, definitely, there are concerns from member states how the data, which are intelligence data, will be used. So what will be the rules? Who will have access, and so on. So we need to have, very simply, we need to have proper answers. And that is what we're doing. And from another side, definitely, speed for us here is very important, because it's all of us will understand how important space intelligence data now are when we see the war in Ukraine, and how much we are dependent in that area on strategic enablers which are provided by United States, or and we feel that we lack those capabilities. So that is why we, together with ESA, with ministerial meeting, working with governments, I hope that we shall find the best solutions, how to move ahead, how maybe to start from commercial data, how to use commercial data available, then how to combine existing national resources into some kind of network, like we are doing now with Govsatcom on secure satellite communication, and then in parallel building our own system. This is a must. When I hear from experts, again, this is not my knowledge, but when I hear from experts that China is developing Earth observation system, special system, I don't know how they call it, where they will be able to see the same spot with very precise picture each 6 minutes. And we have now capabilities on European level once a day. Well, how to say? I see the difference.
Thank you very much. And I see a question from Jeff Faust from Space News.
Good afternoon, Jeff Faust of Space News. Question for both of you. I wonder if you'd characterize the current working relationship between ESA and the Commission, because I know that has gone up and down at times over the years. It seems to be more cooperative now, but where do you see how things stand and how things might improve in the near future?
Well, I would say in a very simple way, I consider that our relations are perfect. Challenges are big, but for all of us, how to develop new projects, how to find, finances, all of us, both of us, we need to convince member states. ESA is, has, member states in the council, and a very important council is coming. We as Commission also depend on what will be decided by European Council on MFF, what will be decided by European Parliament. So we are working very closely, really, to show to all the member states that what we are proposing in our joint understanding and joint development is very important. So that's our big task, which unites us very much.
Yeah, Jeff, maybe to complement, first of all, I fully support and agree what the Commissioner was saying. The cooperation is extremely strong, maybe as strong as never before. I really see it also at a personal level. But let me also tell you that over the decades, we have always been working extremely well together. And we have been creating some of the world's best programs. I mentioned Copernicus, Galileo. How can you create them if you're not working closely together? And our teams in the different directorates with the European Commission, with the EU establishment, have always been very, very strongly working together. I also see representatives from EUSPA here. Also, they play an important role. But it is not so complicated. Sometimes people make it more complicated than it is. The EU has a very clear mandate and very clear competence, which we as ESA don't have. We have a very clear competence as a technical development agency, doing the architecture, development of spacecraft, launching them, and then handing them over to an operator, whoever the Commission mandates to operate. I think these roles are so complementary and so easy to implement, and we manage. Of course, there's a lot of elements on a daily basis, as we always do when even brothers and sisters work together. But I can really assure you from my side, I'm very committed. You have seen it expressed many times in documents and in words, and I see exactly the same on the EU side, on the Commissioner side, so I'm very happy with how it goes.
Thank you very much. And that concludes our press conference. Thank you very much, Commissioner Kubilius. Thank you very much, Director General. And please enjoy the Bourget. Thank you.